So I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I'm having a great weekend. Love playing me some Azure Lane and some Honkai Star Rail. But today we got a video today. And today's video is going to be going over the 8 factions, the 8 seasons, sorry, of priority research. Now I think my last time I made a video like this was like 2 seasons ago when it was I don't remember anymore. I think it was like Hindenburg and like Kearsarge, right? I can check right now. PR6. Okay, yeah, I was right. So I think that's like the last time I made this video. So it's been a while now. So we got 2 seasons to add on to this list. So let's get right into it and talk about them. So I like to categorize and I like to give my my analysis on these ships based on gear and the ships, not just the ship itself. So take it for what it is. I think we're at the point now where it's kind of big for us. So I think I'll give like a ship category, and then I'll give a gear category, and I'll give an overall category on top of that at the end to like to summarize both the gear and the ships from each season. So with that being said, let's get right into this video, guys. So we'll be going over PR1 first. Overall, I think this season it's been so outdated now, guys. Like, there's pretty much no reason for you to actually go into this season unless you like the ships in particular. But I gotta tell you guys, this season is so outdated. I put this at the bottom of the list, not even close, man. It's like there's no DRs, there's nothing amazing here except waifus. Obviously my main wife is here, Monarch. But in terms of performance though, there's like no reason to go to this whatsoever. So this is gonna be a short one. PR1 ain't it if you guys want gameplay performances. Now PR2, a bit better. We have 2 DR ships that carries this season heavily, Azuma and FDG here. But the others are kind of slacking. I think Georgia is pretty solid for the most part for a battleship for quite some time now. But this banner this season primarily gets carried by Azuma and FDG. And to this very day, they aren't considered like the best, but they're still very, very good in their retrospect of roles. FDG being like a solid flagship tank DPSer, Azuma being a tank vanguard, light damage dealer. Still very, very solid ships. So overall, I don't think they're too bad. I think it's still pretty good even up until 2025. But again, there's just much better options out there for both these categories for FDG and Azuma. PR3, now PR3 is, I'm gonna say it right now, it is significantly worse than PR2. Nothing here is super crazy. The gear is pretty good here, mainly champagne gun, but for the most part though, this season is kind of lacking. Now I love Drake, I really, really do. She does have her usage in some categories, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the girl is not tanky, man. If she had any like somewhat more tankiness to her, then she would probably be like steamrolling everything. But the damage is okay. The tankiness isn't really there. It's not amazing. Cheshire is a really good anti-air ship, but she lacks a lot of durability as well too, compared to a lot of other anti-air ships these days that has much more sustained durability compared to she does. Otherwise, she's solid. I think the HMS ships are the best ones from this banner. Mines, Odin, and Champagne are kind of like whatever in my opinion. So yeah, it's kind of like eh. So, but I do think this season though is significantly worse than just PR2. PR2 is just much better than this. PR3 is awful. PR4, I always praise this season. It's one of the best seasons, and to this very day I consider it one of the best seasons because all these ships are very, very good. Now a lot of these ships aren't considered the best by any means because we're in the era of ultra rare and DR ships, but for the most part though, they're very, very solid. Hakuryu is still using the heavy armor, IJN carrier setup. E-Girl still like one of the best tanks in the game. Anchorage also being one of the best tanks in the game. August von Parzival being really, really good on light armor and even medium armor to an extent. And Marco Polo still has that cross barrage that she offers, being one of the very few, if not the only one, with a cross barrage for battleships that's SSR. So still a very, very good season, I gotta say. PR5, this season is very, very heavily carried by Plymouth. Plymouth is like still one of the best ships in the game. One of the best vanguards in the game to this very, very day. Still very, very good. Brest is still very good as well too, mainly because she's used a lot with Alsace to stack up her passive for having that big AoE damage increase. So still very, very good there. Chikalev has her usage, I'd say, if you want to do like those like like RNG gambles with dive bombers, but it's still there's better solid choices out there. And I think as of right now for carriers, there isn't too much options when it comes to some departments, but she's still solid in some scenarios. Not like super high DPS output, but still solid. Harbin, I don't think people use her much anymore. I'm not sure if she's still using PvP or not, but that's an entirely different department from what I'm talking about as of right now, so it's kind of whatever. And Prince Rupert, another battle cruiser, just there, doesn't really offer much. But again, if you like her, you like her. PR6, this one is still very, very good. A very stacked banner, I'd say. Kearsar is still used in Premier USS carrier setups. Hindenburg, I still use her to this very, very day. One of the best, if not the best, DPS output for light armor and even medium armor to an extent as a Vanguard. So that's very, very good. Flandre, I think you still use her in French if you're doing like just pure French setup. So there's that. Felix Schultz still used in Chapter 14 if you guys don't have any other DDs to use. And Shimanto is still one of the best. The hard carry of Chapter 15 right here. So a lot of the ships these days are based off her when it comes to Chapter 15 content because she's so good in Chapter 15. It's disgusting. PR7 is a weird season. I gotta say, Admirable Nakimov is pretty good when she's in that setup with Fritz from KMS and Soyuz, the battleship for the Russian faction. That's a premier medium armor DPS output right there. Very, very strong. But it's very niche as well too. You need to have the right setup. She's not very user friendly outside of Soyuz being a battleship setup with her, so it's kind of like whatever. Not really feeling it. Napoli still, mine isn't even maxed out yet. Oh god, I just realized this, guys. Mine isn't even maxed out yet. We can max her out right now. How did I not realize this? Okay, let's max her out right now. I didn't even realize like she was like this the whole time. That's crazy. Oh my lord, I'm griefing, guys. Well, how the crap did I forget about that? Okay, if you guys don't know, I rarely use Napoli, so that's probably why. Oops, my bad. Bayard though, I never used her. I think she's like okay for like cruiser, if I recall correctly, nothing amazing. Dyson, another IJM battleships, kind of like nothing spectacular worthy, and Halford also being like another DD, it's kind of like whatever. So campaign, maybe Chapter 14 or whatever, so it's kind of like there's that. And then lastly, we're at PR8. Now, I don't have these ships maxed out right yet now, so I can't really test them. But from what I see so far in my overview and my first impressions of it, Mecklenburg, definitely very, very good. She works kind of like Admiral Nakimov in the sense that you need Bismarck too, whereas she needs Soyuz to work at her maximum potential. And she's going to be needing her gun as well too because she excels on heavy armor. So that's very, very niche. Golden Louis, definitely gonna be one of the best vanguards for upcoming end game content stuff like Chapter 16. Very strong heals, very good anti-air, basically very good utility vanguard ship that's very stacked out. I think the devs realize like what people want these days when it comes to end game vanguard when it comes to campaigns, so they literally just made their kit based off of that and just say like, yeah, we're just gonna make a very stacked vanguard for these kind of scenarios to make people's lives much easier. Kansas, horrible. I don't like her kit at all. I'm sorry, I like her design, but I just don't like her kit at all. Victoria Cooney, Chapter 14 ship, if I recall correctly. And Dmitry Donsky is kind of like whatever department, right? Something like that. Like I think okay for Chapter 15, but not like super crazy or whatever. So yeah, I'd say 1 is definitely the worst season. 3 is falling right after. After that's up for grabs. I'd probably say, I'd say 1, 3, 2, and then that's tough. Okay, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Ships alone, I'd say like I don't know, man. I feel like okay, the last 3 spots definitely 1, 3, then 2. I'd put those back there. I'm going to say Ooh, that's hard. Oh, I don't know here. This is tough. I'm gonna say PR7 would follow up next for ships only. And then after that, I'd probably give it to like PR. Ooh, that's tough. I'd give it to PR6. I think it's a little bit too niche. I know Hindenburg and Kearsarge are amazing, but like the other option is too good, I'd say. So it's what, so from least to like my least favorite in terms of performance to like favorite: 1, 3, 2, 7, 6, and then I'd probably put 4. And then 8 and 5 are like up for grabs, honestly. I think they're both equally good. I'm gonna go with 8 though, mainly because I think that as of right now, we don't really need Golden Louis and we don't need Mecklenburg in terms of performance. Like, I think the game is doing solid as it is without them. Whereas Plymouth just hard carries just basically any setup that has a battleship in the middle. And Brest is also like a slightly worse version, I'd say, compared to Golden Louis, but still can stack up Alsace very fast and still like a relatively good Vanguard as well too. So I know it's very highly biased on Plymouth, but until they release more ships like Plymouth, what she offers to a team is just too unique, I'd say. Like it's difficult to push her out, mainly because of what she does. Yeah, I'd say like I still keep her at the first place spot just because she's just so good of a ship. So in terms of ships that I like for each PR season, I'd give it to 5, then 8, because 8 has a lot of end game potential right here, with Golden Louis and Mecklenburg being like absolute end game PR ships. Like the devs actually thought about this a lot. Like they're playing for chapter like 16, more heavy armor bosses or whatever. They're gonna excel at these. So it's a very good season for this end game stuff right here. So 5, 8, then 4 being super solid as well too. Like Hakuryu still used, E-Girl still used as well too. Very stacked there. And then 6 and 7 I'd say is pretty much equal, but I give it to 6 because Kearsarge and Hindenburg are still pretty good. Hindenburg being absolutely amazing by any chance, because still the best DPS for Vanguard. But Kearsarge though is still very good. I just think the recent usage of like Lion kind of made light armor DPS in favor of battleships, so you kind of can't see that like USS potential anymore when it comes to light armor compared to just Lion plus friends or whatever, because Lion's just too powerful at this point. And then PR7 I'd consider the 5th slot, yeah, 5th, because Admiral Nakhimov is very good. Like it's so good on medium armor. It's like best in slot essentially, but you're very locked into using Soyuz. Like I know a lot of ships these days kind of like you want to have another ship with them, like Mecklenburg is an example as well too, where you kind of want to have Bismarck too. But I feel like Admiral Nakhimov is like you have to use Soyuz no matter what, whereas Mecklenburg, like you want to use Bismarck too, ideally. Like you really want to use Bismarck too, but I feel like as a standalone she's so good even without Bismarck too. Whereas Admiral Nakhimov, I feel like you have to use Soyuz, otherwise you won't have potential. And then Napoli is like, she's just there. Like there's much better tanks out there compared to her. Whereas same here. Whereas Hindenburg and Kearsarge are just like, they offer something. Like I don't even use Napoli anymore. Like mine wasn't even maxed out. That just goes to show you I don't care too much about using her or whatever. Like she doesn't really do much in that sense or whatever. So that's why I give 7 like the last in terms of like the non-first 3 seasons, because we already know the first 3 seasons haven't overly crept at this time. So it would be 7 being the worst out of the 5 here, I'd say, and then 6, and then 4 being the middle this time, 8 being right behind 5, and then 5 being best, because I feel like until they actually find a way to creep Plymouth, she's just too good. She offers too much to a team. It's too disgusting. So yeah, yeah, I yapped a lot. That's gonna be the first video. I think later this week I'll make a gear video as well too for PR seasons. But for now, we have 8 seasons right now. I'm gonna talk about the 8 seasons and I compile them into one video. So hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching as always. and I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.